One of my favorite videos recently comes from a creator talking about the Appalachian mountain range. In this video, she details how old the Appalachian mountain range is, how it connects to the Scottish Highlands, and although I have seen similar videos before, she goes into more depth. I'm going to make sure I tag her. But one of the things that I couldn't stop thinking about during that video was how strange, bizarre, and magical the Appalachian mountain range is. And there's so many creators on this app who are in the spooky community who almost exclusively detail ghost stories and supernatural events happening there. But it all started to culminate when she was talking about the Appalachian mountain range being millions of years old. That's when it started to click for me, that maybe the reason there's so many ghost stories, strange occurrences, and cryptids in the Appalachian mountain range is because they're ancient. And part of the reason that these things are able to hide so well is because they've been there for millions of years. Now, of course, I don't know if the cryptids in the Appalachian mountain range are in fact real. If the Appalachian mountain range is as old as she says it is, which is millennia, older than bones, older than the rings on Saturn, then it makes perfect sense that there are all of these legends that derive from these locations, from the Americas to the Scottish Highlands. So for instance, we'll go with the one in the background here, Bigfoot, resident of the Appalachian mountain range and some random ass parts of Alabama and Florida. Not technically the Appalachian mountain range, but if you had to have natural cousins, I imagine the Florida swamplands and Appalachia would have a lot in common. On that note, I do have this map here just to show you how wide and how expansive Appalachia is. In the video, she goes detail as well. It goes from eastern Mississippi through Alabama, parts of Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, all the way into New York. So it's not shocking to me that this place, this giant region of the US, has its fair share of stories. So let's go into some of the cryptids that live in Appalachia, allegedly. Now, technically, this is the second supernatural on my list behind Bigfoot, but we have the Moon-Eye people. Now, while these beings are new to me, they're not new to the Cherokee who live in the area. They've been around forever, and they're described as mysterious beings with moon eyes. They come in a number of descriptions, but this is one of the renderings we have of them. I would definitely do some research, but don't look too hard. Again, some of these things, if you call them, they will answer, so just be cautious always. The third being on the list is the Wampus Cat. And the stories that I hear about this creature come out of West Virginia primarily, but it has 6 legs, allegedly. To me, it's not too crazy. You know, again, we do have giraffes out there, so I guess anything can happen. But again, this is a ferocious creature. Allegedly, there have been sightings, but I wouldn't want to run into this thing in the woods. Personally, I think it might just be a puma with a deformity, but another creature coming out of Appalachia is the Mothman. I think this is probably one of the more famous creatures on the list. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can always Google a story on him. He's pretty famous, but again, native of Appalachia. Now, let's go ahead and hop the ocean over to Scotland. I'll fully admit in this portion of the video that I am not familiar with the Scottish Highlands. Given that, please go easy, and if I make any egregious errors, please just drop it in the comments so that way I can correct it in future videos. But as I see it, a quick Google search reveals that this is the Scottish Highlands. Highlands up here, lowlands up there. To me, you can see that there is a significant coastal area here, and I hope you know where I'm going with this. Enter the Selkie. Now to me, this one's probably more of a stretch than anything, but again, these land masses, these water sources develop together, so it's not shocking that they might have a pull or a draw to each other. So a Selkie coming out of the water into the Scottish Highlands or on the beaches of it wouldn't shock me. And of course, you can't forget the notorious Fae. Now, the Fae are some of the most infamous supernatural creatures. Beautiful tricksters, generous beings. I find that the stories across England, into parts of Scotland, and across Ireland vary dramatically, but they all have things in common. I don't have enough time in this video to go into all of those things, but again, I find it odd that these creatures are attracted to the Scottish Highlands, amongst other things, of course. But if you like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments. If I've erred anywhere, let me know. If you found any other supernatural creatures that belong across the Appalachian mountain range and into the Scottish Highlands, drop it in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video.